Too many hobbies here. Everybody likes old stuff. Everybody likes American stuff. How's this for old and made in USA? This is actually 4 generations of my family collecting and searching for Native American artifacts in the southern New Jersey area, mostly Cumberland and Salem counties on the southwest side, not far from the Delaware River. Some of these were actually found along the coast of the bay, the Delaware Bay. I'd like to show you some of the stuff that we've found over the years. I got a few pieces that I would like to have identified if anybody knows what they are, what they were actually used for. Most of what's on the table were found by either my grandparents or my grandparents' parents and brother, his brother actually. Some of these have been in my family, since the early 1900s. Some of these I found. What is actually in this case here are the nicest of the ones that I found personally. Give you a quick overview here of these are my nicest ones. Here's one that if anybody knows what it is, if you could identify it. I'm not sure what it is. It doesn't look like it was broken anywhere around. It looks like it was intentionally designed to be that shape. It may be a drill bit that was just used until it was worn out. I'm not sure. If you know, I'd appreciate it. This is one of my favorites. This is actually really, really nice work on this thing. If you can see the serrations on it, you can completely cover this point with a dime. It's a very small point. I was actually found on my grandfather's farm. A lot of people in this area are farmers. Most of these came from family-owned farm fields in the area. That's one of the nicer ones that I find. I know out west you have a lot of those. I hear you call them side notch points, and we have some here. Most of the points that we have around here are all notched points to some extent. Here's another one. I remember finding this as a kid and thinking, wow, that guy really didn't know how to make an arrowhead. But after watching some other videos, I understand, or have come to understand, that some of these were actually made intentionally this way to where they're actually three-sided. I just thought it was a very poorly made point. Here's this, I believe, is a piece of a pipe that I found on my grandfather's farm. I believe it's where the stem and the bowl come together for a pipe. Would be my best guess. A lot of pottery in some areas locally around here. I saved that piece because I had 2 holes drilled in it. I just thought that was pretty unique. This is something I found years ago, and I don't know what it is. If somebody knows what this is and could fill me in, I'd appreciate it. It's obviously used for scraping something as it's worn or sharpened on this edge. But to simply be a scraper, somebody went to an awful lot of effort here, because if you look at the edges of this on both sides, it's worn squared off, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Squared off both sides. It possibly could be a celt, I was told. I really don't know what a celt is or what it could have been used for. And there's actually only on this side you can see a groove that's either worn there or ground there to be there intentionally. It's an interesting piece, and I'm not sure what it is. A lot of these are local points. These are all, from this case, these are all found by grandparents or great-grandparents. Some of these are pretty interesting looking points. This was my grandfather's. This is one of the nicest pieces that he found. Trying to find something like that in a field that's been plowed over and over and over for 100 years or more is just, that's pretty rare to find something like that anymore. quite a few different pieces. Blade there, and I'm not sure of the ages of some of these. Some of you guys can look right at them and say, oh, they're archaic, mid-archaic. I don't have that talent yet. And again, most of them obviously have just the stem points on them. Very few of them have notches on them. That one's pretty interesting. I think that was a larger point at one time that was broken and then reformed. It's a pretty nice point there. And that's got to be an import. There's only a couple of those made of that stone here, and we don't have any of that type of stone in southern Jersey. That's up in the mountains of Pennsylvania. You can find stone like that. This is a very cool piece. I believe it to be a pendant of some type. Serrations all the way around with a hole drilled. I can just imagine somebody putting a piece of rope through their string through that and wearing it around their neck. Really a neat piece. We don't find stuff like that in this area at all. This is a piece of some type of bowl. Pretty unique designs on it. They must have smoked a lot in this area. I think these are all broken pieces of pipes, as they're all obviously some type of clay with holes through the center. This is a nice point. That's also a nice one there, that triangle one. I guess back in the day you could find axe heads. It's something that I never ever found. My grandparents apparently found quite a few of them. Great grandparents. Some pretty neat. This I believe to be a net weight, as it's obviously not sharpened at either end, but has obvious grooves in it. Pretty neat looking piece. And this is an extraordinary piece that I have no idea what it is. This came from even before my grandfather, so this is either my great-grandfather or his brother found this piece locally sometime years before I was born. It's obviously been used for something very heavily on this side, as it's just almost glass smooth on this side, and has quite a groove through the center and quite a taper on this end. If you have any idea what this is or what it could be used for, please leave me a comment. I'd love to know what it was. I've never seen anything like it anywhere. Pretty neat. And look at this axe head. This thing is huge. This thing probably weighs 5 or 6 pounds by itself. That's just I couldn't imagine heating my house with wood that I had to cut and split with this, but I guess they did it for a long time. These are all points from my grandfather in these two smaller cases. In this case, these are my grandfather's points. Some of these in this area my father found. My dad didn't actually go looking for them, but many years of farming and working on a farm and hanging out on farms, hunting and such, he'd pick them up and bring them home and save them for me. I suppose that's about it. Thanks for watching my video. If you have any tips or suggestions of anything that you see here that's a little different than what I explained it to be, I'd appreciate any comments or suggestions. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.